Have you ever felt a quiet echo of a memory that isn't yours? A feeling that you've walked ancient halls you've never seen? That sense of being out of place in the modern world. It isn't a flaw in you. It is a sign. In a world that has grown so loud, so filled with fleeting distractions and temporary things, there is a part of you that remembers silence. A part that remembers stone, darkness, and the light of distant stars. This feeling is a compass pointing not to a place on a map, but to a depth within yourself. For thousands of years, seekers have felt this same pull. The ancient Egyptians didn't just see this feeling as a passing curiosity. They built their entire civilization around understanding it. They knew that the most important journey wasn't through the sands of the desert, but through the inner landscape of the soul. They created special places for this journey, spaces hidden from the world, designed for one purpose alone: transformation. Today, we are not going to look at the Egypt of museums or tour guides. We will step past the golden sarcophagi and the public temples into the spaces that were never meant for the uninitiated. We will explore what truly might have happened inside the secret initiation chambers, deep within the pyramids and the temples of the Nile. This isn't about the dry, academic theories of rituals you might read about in books. It's about the profound, life-altering experience they were designed to create. We will talk about the process of consciously leaving the old self behind, of confronting the deepest truths of existence, alone in the silent, living heart of the stone. We will ask what it meant to enter one of these chambers as a simple human and emerge as something more. If this feeling of searching for a deeper truth is familiar to you, share a thought in the comments below. This channel is not simply a place to watch videos. It is a modern-day vault, a quiet space where we can discuss the things our souls remember without fear of judgment. Your own inner knowing is a valuable piece of the great puzzle we are all trying to piece together. And if you wish to continue on this path of discovery with us, subscribe and join our circle of seekers. We are here to remember these ancient truths together, because some things are too important to forget. The ancient texts whisper to us across the millennia. In a passage from the Egyptian texts, the deceased, speaking before the guardians of the underworld, declares, "I am yesterday, I know tomorrow." This was not a boast of magical power. Think about what it truly means. I am yesterday signifies a complete acceptance and understanding of one's past. Every action, every thought, every failure. I know tomorrow is not about predicting the future, but about understanding that the future is born from the present moment, from a self that is no longer burdened by the unresolved echoes of the past. This was the goal of the initiate, to stand in the eternal now, fully aware, and in doing so, become the master of their own destiny. The chamber was the place where you learned to embody this truth. Now, let us leave the familiar light of our world behind and symbolically descend into the heart of this ancient mystery. Let's go deeper together and try to understand what these sacred spaces were truly for and what they asked of the person who dared to enter. The visual perspective remains immersive. The darkness is no longer just an absence of light, but a canvas. Subtle cosmic dust motes might drift in and out of a barely perceptible light source, representing the inner mindscape. The sound is a low, humming drone, like the earth itself breathing. Block 1. The descent into the womb of Earth. Imagine now the first moments of this journey. It is not a rush. It is a slow, deliberate procession. You are guided from the blinding, vibrant world of the Egyptian sun, a world you have always known, into the cool, waiting mouth of the temple or the pyramid. The passage slopes downwards. With every step, you are consciously moving from the world of the living, the world of light, of Ra in his full glory, into the underworld, the Duat, the hidden kingdom of the soul. This is not just a physical movement. It is a profound symbolic act. You are leaving the known world of the conscious mind, the world of logic, schedules, and defined identity, and you are willingly descending into the subconscious, the realm of dreams, of memory, of things long buried. The air changes first. It loses the dry heat of the desert and takes on the cool, ancient breath of the stone. It smells of earth, of stillness, of time itself. The sounds of the world above begin to warp and fade. The chatter of the marketplace, the call of a distant bird, the rhythm of daily life. It all stretches and thins until it is a single, faint memory. Your guide, your teacher, might be speaking to you, reminding you of the purpose of this journey. The words are not for your mind to analyze, but for your soul to absorb. You are not going to die, they might say. You are going to remember what it was like before you were born. The passage narrows. The stone walls, smooth from centuries of touch, press in on either side. This is intentional. It is to make you feel your own body, your own physical limits, one last time before you transcend them. You are aware of your own breathing, the beat of your own heart echoing in the confined space. It is a drumbeat counting down to the great dissolution. And then you arrive at the chamber. It is stark, empty. A single stone sarcophagus waits. You are instructed to lie down within it. As you settle into the cold, hard embrace of the stone, you see the last sliver of light from the guide's torch. And then the great stone door is rolled into place. A sound like thunder echoes, and then nothing. A silence so absolute, so heavy, it feels like it has a weight. A darkness so complete your eyes strain open, trying to find a single photon of light, and find only the reflection of your own inner blackness. For the first few moments, panic is a real possibility. The animal brain screams that you are trapped, buried alive. This is the first, smallest guardian at the gate. Your instructions were to simply breathe, to feel the panic rise like a wave, to watch it, and to let it crash and recede without drowning you. You are not trapped in a tomb. You are safe in the womb of the Great Mother, waiting for a new birth. The journey has now truly begun. In this sensory void, the only universe left to explore is the one that resides behind your eyes. Block 2. The chamber as a living symbol of the cosmos. Now, let us stay in that darkness and understand the genius of this sacred space. To our modern, materialistic mind, it is a box, a primitive, claustrophobic prison. But to the initiate, who has been prepared for years, it is a living library of cosmic truth. It is a perfect scale model of reality. This is the heart of the Hermetic principle, born from this ancient land, As above, so below. By understanding the chamber, you understand the universe. By understanding yourself within the chamber, you understand your place in the universe. The sarcophagus you lie in is not a coffin. It is the vessel of the self. Its unyielding hardness represents the structure of the physical world, the laws of nature that you must live within. It holds you, contains you, and forces a stillness that your restless body and mind would never otherwise choose. It is the chrysalis that contains the caterpillar while it undergoes its great and mysterious transformation. You are that caterpillar, and the potential for a butterfly lies dormant within you. The chamber itself, the space around you, represents the mind. The four walls are the boundaries of your known reality. Your beliefs, your prejudices, your education, your language. You have spent your entire life living within these four walls, believing they were the edge of the world. The purpose of this experience is to show you that these walls are not solid. They are permeable. They are constructs of your own perception. In the darkness, with nothing to project upon them, the walls begin to dissolve. And the ceiling, which you cannot see but know is there, was often painted with stars in other sacred places. It is the map of the heavens, the symbol of the infinite, the divine pattern of eternity. It is a constant reminder that even when you are enclosed in the deepest darkness, you are an inseparable part of a vast, intelligent, and glittering cosmos. You are not a frightened human buried under the ground. You are a star seed, temporarily resting in the earth, remembering its connection to the entire sky. The chamber, then, becomes a tool for a radical shift in perspective. The goal is to stop seeing yourself as a tiny, fragile body inside a big, scary room, and to start experiencing yourself as the consciousness that is the room, a boundless awareness that contains the body, the mind, and the memory of the stars all at once. Block 3. The Great Confrontation with the Guardian Ego. Who do you meet in this profound, silent blackness? The stories speak of demons, of tests by the gods Anubis or Thoth. But these are allegories. The true guardian, the only entity you must face in that chamber, is your own self. You meet your ego. And it is more terrifying than any imagined beast, because it knows all of your secrets. At first, the experience is a chaotic rush of mental noise. Freed from the distraction of the senses, your mind becomes a roaring furnace. Every worry you have ever had, every person you have ever hurt, every mistake you have ever made, every secret shame you have buried, it all comes to the surface. The guardian ego does not want to die. It believes its existence is your existence, and so it will fight to keep you identified with it. It will project a horror movie onto the screen of your inner vision, starring you. It will whisper to you with your own voice. You are a fraud, it will say. Everyone you think loves you is just pretending. You don't deserve this sacred knowledge. You are weak and impure. It will replay your most embarrassing memory in a vivid loop. It will conjure the faces of those you have wronged, their eyes filled with accusation. It will then switch tactics, appealing to your pride. You are better than the others, it will whisper. You are special. You have achieved so much. Think of your status, your possessions, your reputation. Let's get out of here and go back to that, where we are safe and respected. It will project intense physical sensations. You might feel spiders crawling on your skin or a crushing weight on your chest. You might feel intense hunger or thirst. This is all the ego's strategy, a desperate attempt to pull your awareness back to the body, back to the small self and its survival instincts. The ancient teaching was not to engage. It was not to argue with the whispers or to fight the visions. To fight it is to feed it. To argue with it is to believe it is real. The instruction was to become the silent watcher, to sit behind your thoughts, as if you were on a riverbank watching leaves float by. A fearful thought comes. You watch it, label it fear, and let it drift away. A memory of pride comes. You watch it, label it pride, and let it drift away. You are not the leaves. You are the riverbank. You are the stillness that perceives the chaos. This is the hardest work a human can ever do. It is the untangling of awareness from thought. And as you persist, minute after minute, hour after hour, something miraculous begins to happen. The voice of the guardian grows weaker. The parade of horrors becomes less compelling. The silence between thoughts grows longer. You are withdrawing your energy from the false king, and the castle of the ego begins to crumble. Block 4. The agony of dissolution, the symbolic death. This is the point of no return. This is the core of the alchemical process, the nigredo, the blackening. As you successfully detach your awareness from the stream of thoughts and fears, the structure of your personality begins to dissolve. This is the symbolic death, and it is utterly terrifying. It is one thing to feel separate from your thoughts. It is another thing to feel the very sense of I begin to disintegrate. Imagine your identity is a statue made of ice. It has a specific shape, a face, a story. The chamber is a place of gentle, persistent warmth. The dissolution begins. First, the outermost layers melt away. Your identity as a professional, as a property owner, as a citizen of a certain place, these are the first to go. They seem laughably unimportant in the face of the vast silence. Then the next layer, your identity as a son or daughter, a parent, a friend. You still hold the love for these people, but the role itself, the story you tell yourself about who you are to them, dissolves. It is a profound letting go. Then the process goes deeper. Your identity as a body, this collection of sensations you have called me for your entire life, begins to feel alien and distant. The boundary between the air in your lungs and the air in the chamber seems to vanish. The beat of your heart feels less like your heart and more like the rhythmic pulse of the universe itself. And finally, the core melts. The central pillar of the ego, the very feeling of being a separate I, an observer, a subject experiencing an object. This too begins to fall apart. There is no longer an I who is watching. There is only watching. There is no longer an I who is feeling. There is only feeling. This is the great abyss, the dark night of the soul. It feels like utter annihilation. It is the moment the caterpillar turns completely to liquid in the chrysalis. There is no form, no reference point, no self. There is only a boundless, dark, empty awareness. To the ego, this is hell. It is the ultimate failure. But to the soul, this is the moment of ultimate freedom. The prison has dissolved. You have died before you have died, and in doing so, you have conquered the fear of death itself. Block 5. The illumination of unity, rebirth into the all. What happens in that void of non-self? Is it just an empty blackness? No, that is the great, beautiful secret. When the I is gone, what is left is everything. From the center of that silent, empty void, a new light begins to dawn. It is not a light you see with your eyes, but a light you perceive with your entire being. It is the light of pure consciousness. It is the moment the soupy liquid in the chrysalis begins to reform, not as a caterpillar, but as something entirely new. In this state, there is no separation. You experience with absolute certainty that the awareness that is you is the very same awareness that is in the stone beneath you, the same awareness that is in the distant star, the same awareness that is in every other human being. The concept of connection becomes meaningless because connection implies two separate things coming together. Here, there is only one thing. You are the universe experiencing itself from a single point. You might feel a love so profound and impersonal it shatters every definition of love you have ever known. It is a love for everything that exists, because everything that exists is you. This is the state of Ma'at, divine truth, order, and harmony. You don't just understand it as a concept. You are it. You perceive the intricate, intelligent, and benevolent pattern that weaves all of reality together. You understand that there are no accidents, that every event in your life, every joy and every sorrow, was a perfectly placed thread in a divine tapestry you can now finally see. You do not receive secret information or learn magical spells. The illumination is far more profound than that. You remember your own nature. You remember that you are not the temporary wave, but the eternal ocean. This knowing is not stored in your brain as a memory. It is imprinted upon your soul as a permanent truth. The fear of death is gone because you have experienced your own eternity. The need for approval is gone because you have experienced your own completeness. You have come home. Block 6. The return to the world becoming the living temple. The journey does not end with this cosmic bliss. The final and perhaps most crucial part of the initiation is the return. The great stone door rolls away. Light, raw and painful, floods the chamber. Your senses, dormant for so long, reawaken with a scream. You are helped out of the sarcophagus, your body stiff and weak. You are a newborn, blinking in a world that is at once familiar and utterly transformed. You have not returned as the same person who descended into the darkness, but you have not returned as a floating, detached saint either. The goal was not to escape the world, but to learn how to live in it properly. The memories of who you were are still there, your relationships are still there, your life is still there, but the center from which you operate has shifted. The ego, which was once a screaming tyrant on the throne of your consciousness, is now a quiet, humble servant. It is a tool you can now use to navigate the world, but it no longer controls you. How does the world look different? The colors of a simple flower might move you to tears with their beauty. You see the deep, unhealed pain and the luminous, divine spark behind the eyes of every person you meet. The petty squabbles, the chase for status, the anxieties that drive society, they seem like a children's game, a play that you no longer need to take so seriously. You have a quiet confidence that is not born of pride, but of knowing. You don't need to prove anything to anyone ever again. Your actions change. You act not from a place of fear or need, but from a place of deep peace and intuitive wisdom. You become a source of stability for those around you. You don't preach about what you experienced. Your very presence becomes a teaching. People feel a sense of peace around you, a sense of being seen and accepted, and they don't know why. You have become a walking, breathing temple. You carry the silence of the chamber within your own heart. You are in the world, but you are no longer entirely of it. You are a bridge between the seen and the unseen, fulfilling the ultimate purpose of the initiation, to bring the light of eternity into the world of time. So, we have walked together through the symbolic darkness of the past. We have imagined the cold stone, the absolute silence, the confrontation with the self, and the dawn of an inner light. And now we must ask the most important question. What does this mean for you right now, sitting here in a world that has no secret chambers, no guiding priests, no great stone pyramids waiting to initiate you? The only answer that has ever mattered, is that the chamber was never the most important part. The chamber was only ever a mirror. The initiation was not something that happened to someone in a room. It was a process that unfolded within them, and that process is still available to you. It is your birthright. You do not need to journey to Egypt. You only need to journey into yourself. The solution is not to find a lost ritual, but to remember that your own life is the greatest initiation of all. Let us first redefine what initiation truly is. Our modern world thinks of it as a hazing, a painful entry into a club. The ancients saw it as a conscious, willing step into a deeper reality. It was a shedding of a skin, a leaving behind of a smaller self to make way for a larger one. And if you look at your life through this lens, you will see that you are constantly being offered initiations. The loss of a job, the end of a relationship, a moment of profound failure, a period of deep confusion and loneliness. These are not random punishments from a cruel universe. These are initiations. They are calls from your soul to let go of who you thought you were and to discover who you are meant to become. They are the modern world's equivalent of being sealed in the dark. They strip away your identity, your security, your plans, and they leave you alone with one question. Without all of that, who am I? The solution, then, begins with seeing your own life's challenges not as problems to be fixed, but as sacred invitations to go deeper. So, how do you build your own chamber? You do it by consciously creating pockets of sacred silence in your overwhelmingly loud life. Your chamber might be the 10 minutes you claim every morning before the world begins to scream for your attention. You sit not with the goal of achieving a quiet mind, but simply to be present with whatever is there. Your chamber might be a walk in nature without your phone, where your only goal is to notice the texture of bark on a tree or the way the light filters through the leaves. It is a conscious fast from the endless stream of information, opinion, and distraction that our world calls connection, but which is often just noise. You must have the courage to be bored. Boredom, in our culture, is a state to be avoided at all costs. For the ancient seeker, it was a gateway. It is in the moment when you have exhausted all your distractions that your deeper self finally has a chance to speak. Find that silence. Protect it fiercely. It is the soil in which your true self can grow. Once you are in your self-made chamber, you too must face the guardian. Your guardian is not just your inner critic. It is the entire culture echoing in your head. It is the voice of social media telling you that your life is not beautiful enough. It is the voice of the news telling you to be afraid. It is the voice of advertising telling you that you are incomplete without a product. It is the pressure to have a perfect family, a successful career, a flawless body, a defined opinion on everything. This is the modern guardian, and it is relentless. And the ancient wisdom applies now more than ever. You do not fight it. You do not argue with it. You simply notice it. When you feel the anxiety of comparing your life to another's online, you pull back your awareness and say, there is the guardian of comparison. When you feel the anger from a news headline, you notice it and say, there is the guardian of outrage. You become the silent watcher of your own cultural programming. In doing so, you reclaim your power from it. You realize that you are not the storm of opinions and anxieties. You are the calm, clear sky in which that storm is taking place. The symbolic death, too, is a daily practice. What does it mean to let a part of you die today? It means choosing to apologize when your pride wants to be right. The you that needs to be right has just died. It means truly forgiving someone who hurt you, not for their sake, but for yours, so you can let go of the you that is defined by that old story of victimhood. That you has just died. It means looking at a belief you have held your entire life, about politics, about religion, about yourself, and having the courage to say, what if that's not true? And letting it go. A piece of your old identity has just died. Every day, life offers us chances to shed these small skins. We cling to them because we think they are us, but they are just habits. Letting them die is not a loss. It is a liberation. It is a clearing of space for the real you, the one beneath the roles and the opinions, to finally breathe. And the illumination, the glimpse of unity, do not wait for a blinding flash of cosmic light. Look for it in the quiet moments. It is the sudden, inexplicable feeling of peace that descends for no reason. It is the moment you look at a stranger on a bus and see not a stranger, but a fellow soul on a difficult journey, and your heart opens just a little. It is the overwhelming beauty of a sunset that stills your chattering mind for a single, perfect minute. It is the feeling of connection when you hold a pet or comfort a child. This is the illumination breaking through into your everyday life. It is not a grand, singular event, but 1,000 small moments of grace. The goal is not to have one big experience in a chamber, but to turn your entire life into the chamber, a continuous process of seeing the sacred in the ordinary. That is the real work. That is how you bring the wisdom of the pyramids into your own heart, into your own home, into this very moment. And as you stand here considering this path, I want you to feel something in your very bones. you are not doing it wrong. Your journey, exactly as it is right now, with all of its confusion, its detours, its moments of darkness and its flickers of light, is a sacred text being written. There is a great pressure in our world to have it all figured out, to have a 5-year plan, to know the answers. We look at the lives of others and we think they have the map, while we are hopelessly lost in the wilderness. I am here to tell you that this feeling of being lost is not a sign that you have failed. It is a sign that you are truly on the path. The ones who are truly lost are the ones who think they have arrived. They have built a small, comfortable fortress of beliefs and routines, and they refuse to step outside of it. You, the seeker, the one who feels the echo of the ancient halls, you have had the courage to leave that fortress. You are an explorer in the vast, unmapped territory of your own soul. How could you possibly not be lost at times? An explorer who is never lost is not exploring. They are just following someone else's old, faded map. Your journey requires you to draw your own. Every wrong turn you have ever taken was simply you mapping a new part of the landscape. Every time you stumbled into a dark wood, you were learning the nature of your own shadows. You were not failing, you were gathering intelligence. You were becoming the expert on the one subject that matters, you. Please, I ask you, learn to honor your own feelings, especially the ones the world tells you are negative. Your doubt is not a weakness. It is a tool of discernment. It is the acid that dissolves false certainties. Your sadness is not a sickness. It is a sign of your deep capacity to love and to connect. It is a holy water that cleanses the heart. Your anger, when you look at it closely, is often just a fierce, protective love for something beautiful that is being threatened, love for justice, for truth, for innocence. Your loneliness is not a sign that you are unlovable. It is your soul calling you home to yourself. It is the silence that the initiate had to find in the stone chamber. We run from it, filling it with noise and people and work, but it is a sacred space. It is the space where you can finally hear your own voice, the quiet whisper of your soul beneath the clamor of the world. Stop treating these feelings as enemies to be vanquished, and start treating them as honored guests, as wise teachers who have come to bring you a message. And in that loneliness, in that feeling of being a stranger in this world, you will discover the final paradox. The feeling of being separate is the universal experience that connects all seekers. The initiate, sealed in the stone, felt profoundly alone. The mystic in their mountain cave felt alone. The poet, wrestling with a verse in the middle of the night, feels alone. You, in your quiet moments of doubt, feel alone. And in that exact feeling, you are in the most sacred company. You are part of a lineage of souls that stretches back through all of time, a brotherhood and sisterhood of those who knew there was something more. Your personal, private pain is the secret handshake that admits you to this timeless circle. You are not alone in your aloneness. You are profoundly, deeply connected by it. The path through the self is a path that everyone must ultimately walk by themselves, but in doing so, they find that it leads to the heart of everyone else. So let go of the idea that this is a journey with a finish line. There is no final graduation, no moment where you will receive a certificate of enlightenment and the work will be over. The reward for the work is that you learn to love the work. The reward for walking the path is that you learn to love the path itself, not the destination. The purpose of this life is not to arrive at a state of perfection, but to become a master of the art of beginning again, moment by moment, to be able to fall down and to get back up with a little more compassion for yourself and others, to have your heart broken and to allow it to break open into a greater capacity for love. This is the journey. It is messy, it is beautiful, and every single step of it is sacred. Your step right now in this moment, it is enough. You are enough. This video will end. My voice will fade. You will be left in the silence that follows. And that is where the real video begins. It is a video that plays only for you on the inner screen of your own awareness. And it begins not with answers, but with questions. I leave you with these not for you to answer with your mind, but for you to hold in your heart, to live with, and to let them transform you. When you turn away from this screen, what is the first distraction you will reach for? What is the silence you are trying to avoid? What if, just for a moment, you did not reach for it? What if you allowed that silence to expand? What does it feel like in your body? What is the very first thought that arises from it? Do not judge it. Do not analyze it. Just notice it, like an astronomer noticing a new star in the night sky. Who is the one inside you that is listening to these words right now? And who is the one who is thinking thoughts about these words? Are they the same? Can you feel the distinction between the chattering voice that offers constant commentary and the quiet, spacious awareness behind that voice that simply listens? The voice says, "This is interesting," or "This is nonsense." The awareness simply is. What happens if you rest your attention just for a second in that silent awareness? What if you are not the thoughts, but the space in which the thoughts appear? What memory lives in your bones that does not belong to this lifetime? Do you ever feel a pull towards a certain landscape, a certain piece of music, a certain period in history that feels more like remembering than learning? What if that is a clue, a breadcrumb left for you by your own soul, a reminder of a promise you made to yourself long ago? What was that promise? You do not need to find the words for it. Just feel the echo of its intention. What was the great task you assigned yourself for this journey on Earth? Is this world you experience something you are inside of, like a marble in a box? Or is the world something that is happening inside of you? Is the blue you see in the sky truly out there? Or is it an experience happening in your consciousness? Is the love you feel for another person something that flows from you to them? Or is it a state of your own being that they simply awaken? What if reality is not something you look at, but something you are constantly dreaming into existence? What if you are not a character in the play, but the author, the stage, and the audience all at once? And finally, when all the questions have exhausted themselves, when all the spiritual books have been read, when all the teachers have fallen silent, and you are faced with the profound, simple, unavoidable reality of your own existence, what is the one truth that remains? What is the truth of you that was there before your birth and will be there after your death? What is it that knows without needing a single word? Let this video be a doorway, not to an answer, but to that great and sacred silence within you where all the real answers are born. Let it be the beginning of your own personal journey into the chamber of your heart. The path is open. Walk on,